Hey everybody, the Adept here, and yeah, today we're going to be taking a look at the Tess65. This is a collaboration with Divinikey and Key. Let me see how that was written out. Oh, I don't have the keyboard connected anymore because I set it to the side. Let's grab a keyboard. Get a little deets on this guy. So I ordered this last year, and yes, Key. It's a collaboration with Divinikey and Key to build this Tess65. And there again. This is an aluminum chassis case that sold for $65. Looks great, or at least it did. And we're going to find out today. This is a tri-mode keyboard, and let's get started. So, the packaging. Nothing super fancy, but high quality. How's everybody doing today? There we go. Okay. And this is the accessories box. Let's see what's in here. Okay. What do we have? We have some sort of dots. I don't know what that is. These are gaskets. This might be for a top mount, because here are the top mount screws. Extra screws. Like the way everything is labeled. And that's going to be feet, I believe, as well as a couple of tiny Allen wrenches and the dongle. The dongle is not marked in any way, so be aware of that if you are going to be carrying that around or having it around, because it could get lost. So this is the foam kit. We will, of course, be using all the foams today, because that's how I roll. And this is a bottom foam, plate foam, seems like Poron, case foam, and a PE sheet. So those are all good. Use those, just set them off to the side a little bit. Our PCB. This, as I said, is the tri-mode PCB. I don't think that there was an alternative for this particular keyboard. I think only hot swap tri-mode was available. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and then we'll send you to a quick commercial break because I have to. So this is a non-flex cut 1.6 millimeter PCB. We have a decent amount of options here. So we can do either 6.25 or 7U bottom row. We can split our left shift, stepped caps. We can also, if I'm not mistaken, yes, split our backspace and ISO. So, I mean, this pretty loaded up for a 65%. And then, last but not least, is going to be our plate. And it's a PC plate and pretty standard. We'll be working with that. And with that, we will see you after a quick commercial break, and we'll take a look at the chassis itself. Oh, I had that all wrong. I thought that we were going to a commercial break, and we were in a commercial break, and now we're back. So I'll go over all of that again. So, yeah, this is a hot swap 1.6 millimeter PCB, no flex cuts. It's the only option that they had. You can mount directly to the plate, which means that theoretically, if you wanted to do hot swap plateless, you could. A lot of people don't like it. I don't mind it. It will do a 7U or 6.25 bottom row. You can split the left shift. You can do step caps. You can do ISO. You can also split the backspace. We will not be doing any of that except for 7U step caps. To go with that, we have the polycarbonate plate. You can see here. There are no cuts to allow for a plate-mounted stabs, if that were a thing that you wanted to do. With that, let's set that off to the side for the moment. Stay. Nope, I'm not going to mess with that. And we pull out the case. Take a look at this. I'm not going to say the case here is the star of the show. But, I mean, in a lot of cases, pun intended, it is. Hey! Thanks for the sub, Lorax! Quick reminder, if we reach 10 subs, then I will be giving away a keyboard. The Divinikey 87. So, here is the case. If you think that this navy case looks a little greenish, you're not wrong. It does kind of have a greenish tint to it. Let's look at that side profile, because really I like this. You can see the angular back, which brings in part of these this triangle element that is on the bottom and on the front. There is also a little triangle here. I don't know why, because I don't think it comes into play. You can see that this is a screwless, or actually hidden screw design. You can take off the bottom and remove the battery, and then that's where you would use that piece of foam to insert in this battery compartment down here at the bottom. It uses a single ribbon cable that comes from the daughter board and attaches to the bottom of the case here. So we'll see how tight that fit is when we actually get into it. But for now, let's go ahead and set that off to the side. Let's go ahead and install our stabs. So for those of you who are new to keyboard building, you're installing the stabilizers, which will allow us to, when you push on the switch here, or here, or here, the whole thing will go up in unison, just so that you don't get that wobble. So this is our first. We're going to do the spacebar first. Here are our screws. Come on. That's right. Okay. So there's little clear plastic gaskets that go in, which is hard for my giant sausage fingers. And I did drop it. Oh, no, it had two. So I didn't drop it. Haha, it went on. Haha, take that. These are Phillips. So I've got a little Phillips head screwdriver right here. I'm going to put this in. So that is, so I'm up to 3 prime subs. So that's great. Not quite halfway to my goal of 10. Of course, you know, the goal is just a movable line, because once I reach 10, then we'll give another keyboard away at 25, which I determined already will be my next threshold level of success. Really, the success are the friends we made along the way. I think we'll all agree with that. Okay, first stabilizer is in. Make sure that it hooks under. This should flow free. These are the Type Plus stabilizers. We are not using Paigu stabilizers today. And these are unique because they have a hook wire, if you have not seen these yet. So you get less rattle because it hooks under. This is the one that we don't need for the build today. Set off to the side. Just wanted to show you that. There will be a total of 4, including the spacebar, that need to be installed today. No, that's right. The 2 are shift, enter, spacebar, and backspace are the 4 that we need for this build. So the fit of the stabilizers is a little loose from some of the keyboards that I've been doing recently, where they've just kind of socketed in and made it really easy for me to do this part here. Okay. Hey, End of Greatness, what's going on? How are you doing today? Good thing is, it looks like they give you some extra screws in case I were to drop some. Again, these are the Type Plus stabilizers, so they actually screw into the bottom instead of the Paigu, which I normally have been using, which are clip-ins. I'm hoping that there's no issue here. It doesn't look like there will be because it's not an O-ring. Under another tornado watch. Jeez. Well, crazy weather. Weather's gonna weather. Unfortunately, weather's just gonna get crazier from here. Anybody here is a global warming denier? Well, you're stupid. Sorry, climate change denier. Because it's not really global warming. And some people get hung up on that. So let's not talk about that. Hopefully you don't actually get a tornado. Obviously. Our weather has started to turn a little bit. We had some rain last night, then it was cloudy earlier while we were out, and then when we came home and I was sweeping out the garage while Freya did some, she was planting her plants, and the sun came out, and it was actually suddenly the highest production either of us had ever seen from our solar panels. So these are in, and I got one more. And I, for once, for just as another topic of conversation as I finish this, drop it, am playing the hot new game for once in a long while. I think since I played Cyberpunk 2077 when it first dropped, but well, I guess Civ, if you count Civ as being a hot new game. Okay, let's get some foams in here. Our PE sheet, we will not need to cut it. We'll need to put it on correctly. We've got this one that flaps under, and that is it. This is going to go under itself. Perfect, look at that. So these indicators here are going to be for our different USB modes and the 2.4 gigahertz wireless. Probably, let's see. Yeah, and USB. So that's what that is. We've got our last piece of foam. Sorry, Miss Succubus. You will need to remain calm and carry on, because that's a thing. Wondering if I should cut it. I think I'm gonna. So this comes as part of the original piece. However, since it goes over the stabs, I'm just gonna cut it so that it's a separate piece. Let's put it back. Like so that it's not in the way. I'm just going to leave it. Okay, it'll be here like that. I'll show you all in a second before I put on the plate. But you can see now that it's cut and it sits flush, which is what I want. I want everything to be flush. This hole right here is for our, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That little tiny switch right there that turns on and off the keyboard for the Bluetooth and 2.4 so that you can turn it off when not in use. And we're going to put on our plate. And that is good. Everything looking hot. Our switches today. We'll be using the HMX Divinikey's burst and counter switches. These are my new favorite switches. I love them and have been putting them in everything. I have bought extras. These actually, I didn't know if they were going to arrive in time. So I actually took all of the switches off of my QK80 Mark II in order to make sure that I had these switches for this build. So given whatever time we have afterwards, we're going to rebuild the QK80 Mark II with Spellbook. And then if we still have time, go do your corners first. This helps the positioning plate achieve its optimal position, because that's what everybody wants, is to achieve their optimal position. Am I right? Am I right? Whether it's in your job, whether it's in your life. One box of these should be enough for this particular keyboard because they come in batches of 70. And this keyboard only has like 68 keys. So you'll notice that on this bottom row, because of the option for 6.25 or 7U, this side will be inverted, which means that the switches that normally have the hole at the bottom, you'll invert it and the switch will have the hole at the top, and that'll insert like that for these three, as well as the space bar. And that has to do with the fact that you can't have the hot spot. They have to be able to be there, basically. So they can't coexist in the same space because they don't have phasing yet. So yeah, I was saying Expedition 33. If you haven't played it yet, it is, I'm not that far into it just yet, but it's a really fun game. Now, the other side will have one switch in the same orientation as the rest of the keyboard, so the hole will be at the bottom. If you were to go with a 6.25, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's very French inspired. I mean, not even like inspired. I mean, it's outright like, I think there's like a melted version of the Eiffel Tower in the background at the beginning or something. And They say merde a lot, which is French for poop. So because it has ISO, and similar to the bottom row, your enter key and your backslash keys will either move to one side or the other, and that is again because they have to be able to orient properly. There you go. So they have to be able to orient properly to allow space for the ISO enter key, which would take up this entire area. Just FYI. And then we are going to, yeah, you hear that? Sounds like weather. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but there's thunder. And thunder only happens when it's raining. I don't know. That's not even actually true, despite what Stevie Nicks says. So is she very far into it? It's cool because every year at Christmas I wait for the Christmas deals, and I excuse me. Oh, you know what? I forgot my Coke Zero. I pay for an annual Xbox Game Pass, and so occasionally they'll have day one release games that are free with your Game Pass, and it was. So I didn't even have to buy it. I just get to install it and play it. And I'm like, sweet. Okay. So one thing that will mostly not come into play here, but on some of my other keyboards, that is an extra added bonus for this, for these switches, is because they are milky. They just grab the light. Like when you put an RGB, if you put a decent RGB behind it, the whole switch just lights up. What's up, Carl? How are you doing, man? How's your Sunday treating you? Alright. Glass the back of my head down, at least until I go to plug in that ribbon cable. I think before that, I'm going to go grab my Coke Zero. Stream not sponsored by Coke Zero, but if they wanted to sponsor me, I would not turn down any of that sweet, sweet Coke Zero money. Alright, this is our PCB with switches. You'll notice, again, just to point it out for people who are new, that these four are inverted because we're using a 7U. This one is not inverted because we're doing a 7U. In the case of a 7U, these two would be inverted, and the spacebar would move from here to here. And all of these would invert and be closer to this side. Just FYI. And then you could have ISO here, in which case that would all go. Are we all in a commercial break? Did I just go through all that for nothing? Anyway, here's our PCB with switches. These are inverted. This one's not. In the case of a 6.25U, these would not be inverted, and the two switches that would be here and here would be inverted. And this would not be inverted, and it would move over so that your stab went from here to here. Then you have your ISO inner, could be here, and it would take up this whole area because that's how ISO works. And yeah, or step caps, this would invert and move over to that side so that it had proper fitment. All good? All good. Now, keycaps. I think that the Asume Kanagawa keycaps are going to practically color match that case perfectly. We're going to find that out together. Asumi likes to smile at you. I'm going to take that off. Got a little fishies. Designed by Asumi. I think it used to say thoughtfully designed by Asumi. Apparently it's not as thoughtful anymore. And so we're going to drop this guy on here. Side while we do this. There are sometimes I just see like color, case colors, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I've got the color for that. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I'd like to think that I'm more right than wrong. Okay. And you are not working for me. Oh, goodness gracious. See, this is what I get for not testing things properly. Because... well, shoot golly. Didn't I just mess up? I did. Oh, God. God bless America. Land that I love. Looks like we're going to undo all the work I just did, because when I put this stab back together, I did not fit the wire in properly for this side, which means that we need to pull all the switches out. We'll use our handy dandy Wuche Studio switch puller, which I love. It's all about how I mess up. It's fun to watch, isn't it? It's like NASCAR. You don't watch it because everything goes right. You watch it for what goes wrong. I thought I was being all cool, having my stabs ready. But on the plus side, I'll get a chance to show you the how that fits together. because it is kind of interesting with the hook and everything. Are y'all able to hear the music, or do I have it too low? And there's music is an acceptable answer. Okay, this off, this off, set you both there. While I go ahead and unscrew this. Sorry for the detour, ladies and gentlemen. Person never might be there. Whatever you enjoy. Alright, so let's take a look here. Yeah, look at that. The wire is underneath. I messed that up, so we're going to take it out. This hook goes into that hole. It's a little tricksy like the Baggins is. And then you have to pop it like that. And then now you can see that it connects with the thing. We can put it back in. That's literally all I needed to do. Literally. Which in this case actually means literally instead of literally meaning figuratively, which is a thing now. Make sure that the hook side of your stabilizers actually hooks underneath. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. And if I have a bad time, I mean, they'll be uneven. They won't set properly, and your switches will not actuate the way you want them to. So we're going to go ahead and put our foam back. I've got my extra little piece here, which allows me to size that properly. It's all about proper sizing. Ask anyone. All right, not anyone, because some people are crazy. All right, let's just start with it. Oh, wait. After I put some switches in, like cha-cha-cha-chia. Okay. Again, corners. You should feel it sink in. Don't force, or else you'll bend pens. And again, the thing we don't want are bent pens. This is going to go that way. This is going to go this way. Invert. Invert. Like in Birdie Mart. For those of you who don't know, Verde Mart is a small grocery / delicatessen in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Or at least it was. I don't know if it still exists. I haven't been there in years. But some of us used to go there frequently. Frequently? Yeah, that's a word. With a PC plate, especially, just let that go. It didn't want to be in there. With a PC plate, you want to kind of go around the frame, which is what I'm doing here. And that is even more important if you're going to be going foamless. We're not, but if you were, then it would be important because basically it is stabilizing the structure so that the others, especially if you're working on a PCB that has flex cuts in either the plate or the PCB or both, because you want your switches to hopefully lock in. That way, if you're traveling with it or if you're carrying it, if you turn it upside down, you don't just have switches going boop and popping out. And I mean it, boop and popping out. So these are pre-lubed from the factory, but they are completely stock. And I'll probably reiterate that again later when we get to more of a sound test. But so my other big thing besides Expedition 33 is I received a Kickstarter that I had done back in November of 2021 the other day. So it just goes to show, sometimes it may take a long time, but you'll eventually get your Kickstarter or group buy. In this case, it was Tracy Hickman's, Laura and Tracy Hickman's new steampunk RPG called The Sky Raiders of Abarax. And yeah, so a lot of development went into it, and they made sure everything was done right. The game looks gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to it. It is unfortunately 5e based, which is funny because when I kickstarted it, I was fine with 5e, and that, of course, has since changed. But since this isn't actually giving money to Wizards of the Coast, and I'm going to be using the books that I already own, I am cool with it. Don't support Dungeons & Dragons, everybody. Go to Pathfinder if you want a fantasy game. Or GURPS. GURPS, the generic universal role-playing system. I also like Cypher System. But if you're looking for a D&D alternative, Pathfinder. The best there is. 1 out of 1, the adepts agree. You may say, that's not much of a sample size, the adept. And I say, yes. We're going to go with page up, page down, end. Yes, both page up, page down, end. Fortunately, this set does not have a 1.5U function. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that part. I think this is gonna match it nicely. Tempted to use the dark spacebar, which is not something I normally do. Definitely going to use the lighter arrow keys. But I think because of the color matching of the spacebar, or of the keys, I think okay, that's good. Page down. That's good. Grab our giant ass spacebar. Hey, I've already done the thing. I might need to undo the thing depending on how this sounds, but for now, I like it. That there, ladies, gentlemen, and sirs, is a good sounding spacebar to me. Alright, so now we're on the bottom row. We need this shift. See, I could use these dark arrows here, but since they'll be right up against that inner key, that's why I'm not going to do it. In case y'all were wondering, if you have a conflicting opinion, I welcome it. But I think it sets it off the best. I do it this way, and then we're going to go with end. Yeah, we're going to go with end there. Grab our code. Code goes there. That is it for that. Awesome. Let's start it. Nope, and I've already changed my mind. We're not going to go, we're going to recode this so that it's going to be function. And then I am going to go with right alt, left alt, left control. And that is our keycaps. As soon as I put that one keycap away, because I don't want to hang it out. Again, the awesome thing about the Usume keycaps, on top of their awesomeness in and of themselves from their keycapness, is the fact that all their trays are listing exactly what goes into each spot, which, you know, doesn't happen a lot with keycaps. I highly recommend Usume keycaps. All right, and now we have our finished keyboard. Everything's looking good. Set you off to the side. Come back to you, but first let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, let's go ahead and do this. So I am going to start off with the gasket mount. I don't know if we're going to try any of the other mounting method here, but actually, let's see. These are is there a build guide? It does not appear as if there is. So keep that in mind. There is no build guide. Let's see. I am going to see. Yeah. Now they, in their video, did not segment the spacebar stab. They just kind of put it all back together. They also did not do the top mount at all. How fun. Let's see if Alex did a top mount. He did do a top mount. I want to see how you do it. Do you stick the sticky inside the case? Pardon me for 1 second. And he just skipped it completely. Okie dokie. I'm going to say that I probably do. And we'll come back to that maybe at some other point. I'll probably do a sound test on it instead, because since I don't have definitive instructions. I don't want to mess that up since they adhere. So we are going to be doing the gasket mount, which I like anyway because I love gasket mount. I love tadpole mount, or dumbbell mount, or whatever we want to call this today. You know, and maybe even someday I will do a plateless hot swap. So there are 3 on each side, which means that they give us 1 extra, which is already making it better than the Rainy 75, which did not have any extra, but were willing to send me some. So there's 3 on top, 3 on bottom. There's none along the spacebar. There's 1 right on the other side of the spacebar. So we'll see how that all works out. Trade. Now the hidden screw feature means that screws are on the inside of the case, so they are not visible. That's not the right one. Let's see if they fix the finish on these bad boys. And if they made a magnetic, which they did. Isn't that nice? Okay, so magnetic screws. Oh no, there's 2 gaskets extra, which is even better. Let's do. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to take off those switches that will be blocking me from re-screwing this once I'm done. So there are a total of 6 screws, 2 top, 2 bottom, 2 side, 1 on each side. As you can see, with that, we can take off our top case, and we can take a look at it. The finish on these look great. Let's look on the inside. So you'll see here, these things here would adhere in here to the top to give us our isolated top mount. And then you can see here at the bottom where there are holes for the dimples, which is, you're going to stay there. You are not going to fall. Right. Let me go ahead and pull off these. 1, 2, 2. I should just need to pull this one off. On polycarbonate plates, you'll often find that the polycarbonate doesn't grab onto the switches as well, so occasionally when you're taking out keycaps, the switches will come with, and that's fine. So it's going to be 2 and 3, and we'll take a look when we try to put it back together and see if we need to pull the switches as well, because in some cases when you do a hidden screw, it will 0 and underscore. There's not enough room here for the screw to get by. So that is in. Go ahead and attach our ribbon cable. Since the ribbon cable is so long, this shouldn't be much of a problem. Because we get a lot of give to it. You can just do that. It's in, close it up, and it lays like that. Everybody's in place now. Yes. And, oh, not everybody's in place. Hold the phone. Yeah, should be this way. And here's a place where I may have messed up. Yeah. Do this again. Ben says me. Come on. Ben. There we go. Take out the ribbon. Then these should all line up. Let me bring it up like that, because that makes more sense to me. Everything goes like that. Good, good. Let's get our ribbon cable back. Drop these guys in back where they belong. Okay. Everything is in. Let's take our top case. So here is the trick. Can we get it to go down? Yes, look at that. All right. By the way, the seam here is purely decorative. The entire top piece comes off instead of that seam, instead of coming apart at that seam. And then to magnetic, we should just be able to drop them in here. Screw. So when you're screwing in hidden screw design, try to angle your screwdriver away from the side of the case just a little, because you do not want the screwdriver to rub against your finish. I mean, it seems obvious, but I mean, you'd be surprised on how many people scratch their finish up by accidentally rubbing stuff on the side. That includes me. So do as I do, or do as I say, not as I do. There we go. Or in this case, do as I do as well, because oh, I forgot to point out the force break. I don't know if you noticed, but there were, and if we pull it apart again, which I don't think we're going to do, there were silicone gaskets in the four corners that act as a force break. Now we can drop our keycaps back on. And put 0 underscore arrow arrow page up, page down, and view off to the side. And let's see how we did on color matching. I think I am right. I think that is pretty gosh darn close. Right? The Kanagawa looks great on this. Both it and the Tess, their navy color has a slight green tinge to them. And so it pretty much is almost a direct color match, which I love. Love, 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 love. And then let's go ahead and see how it sounds. Again, these are the HMX Divinikey's first encounter switches with Asume Kanagawa keycaps. For Suave Blue. Sure. The Krabby Patty secret formula. Yeah, I love the little escape key, and that comes with in the specific colorways in each one of the Asume sets, even the older sets, because I have one of the first gen keycap sets that still comes with this, and you don't need to buy the novelty set to get these, which is nice. So let's do a quick sound test. So the sound, why this is much thuddier, excuse me, than normal is because this spacebar has sound dampening on the inside, which we will remove and then do one more sound test without the sound dampener to it. Not that I don't like it, because I do, but it'll make it a little bit, I guess, brighter. I like the term brighter. The only problem I have with it is that it makes it seem like if you don't do it, that it's not good. And in fact, it's nice, regardless. Again, the stabilizers that we're using in this build are the Type Plus, so not the my standard Pygo fare. And let's do that again. So, if you don't dampen your spacebar with pretty much most die-sub, then you're going to get this sound to it, hopefully. I mean, without any, like, there's no rattle here. That is all the spacebar, as you could hear with it before. I think that this came out really nice. Take another look at that side profile. Ignore my rubby finger marks that have now developed on here. Let's do a front height on this. Where'd you run off to my... there we go. Okay. So the front height is about, I've got about 19.6, 19.7. And they claim that the front height on here is supposed to be 19.6. So yeah, we're pretty much dead on. It has a 7-degree typing angle. The tri-mode PCB supports VIA. We'll test that in a second and see if it is set up properly, because we expect more from Divinikey. So let's do that, because I want to go ahead and edit this. And there's our light. Let's set up our window capture. New tab. Done. Show up. No, which means that there should be a JSON file here somewhere. Let's go to Divinikey's Discord. Oh, there is a user guide. Look at that. So it's going to be a Moto key instead. Okay. Anyway, let's... go. Try that again. All right, so yes, disappointing that it's not properly registered with Via. But here we go. We are now in it to win it. Let's change our long space. And we're going to go and change our key map here to right alt instead of left or right control. Everything else is correct here. And yeah, looks good. Does anybody have any questions about Via? Whenever you save and load. Okay. This build is pretty much done. So as you see, we can set this. This is already set to put the function in the right place, but boom, we just changed it over to the 2.4 gigahertz. I haven't plugged that in yet because it's sitting right there. So now we're back. So the lights are along the numbers, but you control it by these 5 keys here, just FYI. So you can come over here, over here. You're now looking for it on, that's your Bluetooth. We're going to go back to USB. And yeah. We'll come back to touch. That's the build. It's 4:23 Mountain Standard Time. What do you say we go ahead and rebuild a QK80 Mark II? Oh, this did not come with a case. So a lot of our keyboards that we've been getting recently have come with hard cases that come with it. Obviously, at a $65 price point, I don't know what you're expecting, but you did not get a case. So let it go. Let's just type on it one more time because I love typing on it. It has a decent amount of give, not too much, not too little. Yeah, let's go ahead and set that off to the side. Ooh, that's a thought. So I have Spellbook, and I already had Spellbook on here. This is my QK80 Mark II. I don't have the QK80 original. I do have the Neo 80. Take that off the top. As you can see, we're going to need to take out the whole assembly here. Let go. And that is because, as opposed to the test where the gasket mount is on the PCB on the QK80 Mark II, the leaf gaskets hit these bumpers on the top. The test was a 65. This is the QK80 Mark II. We've already finished that. Paper Moon, if you missed it, this is the completed build. And I think it came out really good. I think that color matching with the Asume Kanagawa came out very well. Yeah, really nice. Especially, I mean, come on, $65. By the way, the seam is decorative. This is the seam I was talking about earlier. It actually separates from that seam at the bottom here. When you unscrew it, it's a hidden screw or screwless design. I like to say hidden screw because it's more accurate. So for our second build of the day, we are going to be doing the just doing a quick rebuild on our QK80 Mark II. We'll be rebuilding it also with, as I previously said, I love these HMX Divinikey's first encounter switches. I am dropping them into everything at this point. And it is, they're such a good switch. I had decided to try the Wuche Studio Arowana yellows, and I got them, and I told Freya, I'm like, I really sort of wish that I had gotten the Arowana switches before I got the first encounter switches, because once I got the Arowana switches, or the first encounter switches, the Arowanas just aren't as good. I mean, even though they're also made by HMX, I love the sound, I love the feel of these switches. They are pretty much right in my sound feel wheelhouse, if you will. They have just enough of a good solid sound without being no, you come here. No, you're right. Okay. They have just enough of good bottom out to really let you know that they're there, but it's not too clacky. It is a little bit higher pitched, but not annoyingly so for me, which is a problem I have with clacky builds. Now I recently built a clacky build, not for the first time, but for the first time in a while. I pulled all of the foams out of my Key Cult Zero and built it as the designer will have intended. And I built it. I ended up using the QWERTY Keys Q1 switches in it, which came out really nice, but clacky. How are you doing today, Paper Moon? And sub question: have you or a loved one tried Expedition 33 yet? Cat here, get out of there. Just sitting around. That's cool. I mean, that's my bread and butter right now. Yeah, if you haven't tried Expedition 33, if you like that type of RPG,